If pork belly isn't already one of your favorite cuts, after today's cook, it might be. It's fast, it's cheap, it's versatile, and boy, oh boy, does it taste amazing. Let me show you what I'm on about. For whatever reason, folks tend to overlook cuts like pork belly when they head to their local butcher and or Costco, but this it presents an amazing opportunity for us since I can pick this up for nearly half the price of a brisket. And there is a ton of amazing things that you can do with pork belly. You can cook it like a brisket. You can turn out some amazing Cubano sandwiches, amazing burnt ends. You can use it as a pulled pork if you want to turn it all the way into something that's going to be pull apart, shredded, tender. Of course, let's not forget the mother load here. You can cure and make your own bacon with way more flavor for a fraction of the cost of buying a prepackaged bacon. So those are all some of the amazing things that you can do with a pork belly. But today, I think might seal the deal if you're not already sold, which is going to be making a pork belly banh mi sandwich. Let me fill you in on all the details. So I think you're gonna love this recipe for two reasons. Not only is the flavor out of this world, but it is fast. I mean, really fast. You can make your mind up on the way home from church, go to Costco, pick up a pork belly and everything you need to make today's recipe and have it on the plate in time for dinner. It's that fast of a cook. Now, of course, if you have the time, a little extra preparation goes a long way. You could save yourself some trouble pickling the vegetables ahead of time versus doing it while the pork belly is smoking, like what I'm gonna show today. And you could also incorporate the overnight dry brine, which is gonna give the opportunity for salt to penetrate thicker cuts. So if you have the time, I definitely recommend doing that, which is exactly what I did yesterday when I got our pork belly, cut out about a half of that. So I'm using approximately about $20 worth of pork belly for today's cook, and then started to season it up with salt, pepper. I'm using fresh cracked pepper for maximum flavor, and a little bit of a 5 spice to give some of a base layer for what's gonna go amazing on something like a pork belly banh mi sandwich. I threw that in the refrigerator overnight for the benefit of that dry brine, so it's sitting ready for us for today's cook. For today's cook, the first thing I wanna start around noon. So to show you can turn this from 0 to dinner hero in under 5 hours. I waited till just after noon local time to get started when I fired up my Big Green Egg by removing any leftover charcoal that fell down through my Kit-Kash basket into the can, dumped that, placed 4 pieces of smoking wood underneath my charcoal, added a little bit of fresh Fogo to make sure that I have enough fuel for today's cook. Got my Grill Blazer grill gun out and started a nice hot white ashed over coals in the center. Wait till about 1 minute in elapsed time is often what you see me holding the torch on the charcoal to make sure we get nice clean combustion. Installed my expander rack with the plate set in a pizza pie configuration. This is gonna allow a lot of heat to come up and start to heat up our dome, which is exactly what I want since I'm gonna be placing the pork belly on the top of the expander rack. If you don't have an expander rack, the secret sauce here is going higher. This is where maximum efficiency and taste lives. About a year ago, I partnered with a university to do a CFD study. One of the key takeaways from that year-long approach to demystifying what's actually going on inside of our Kamado style grills is that placing your food higher in the dome is going to give you even more contact points with that smoke that is circulating and lives at the upper portion of the dome. As well, we're gonna get even more benefit from the radiant energy by preheating the dome, which is why I always take that step at the beginning. And we're gonna get the benefit of moving even further away out of the next zip code from the fire sitting directly below our food, which is gonna help make sure that we don't burn the bottom. To make sure that I don't burn the bottom, and more specifically that I burn as much fuel as possible, I'm gonna go for a double indirect setup, which in this version has me placing the convector upside down on top of my half moon stones and giving me about an inch air gap. If you haven't heard of double indirect, I've got a digital download below that goes in all the details for grills like Primo, Kamado Joe, as well as Big Green Egg. But the too long didn't read version here is this allows us to burn a cleaner, hotter fire, meaning you on purpose are gonna burn more charcoal and more smoking wood, as well as protect the bottom of our food. Whether we're using the upper grate or the lower grate, this is gonna remove well over 200 degrees Fahrenheit of surface temperature on the stone sitting below directly what we're cooking, and it's been an absolute game changer. I've heard from tens of thousands of comments over the years since sharing this, people letting me know they've turned out their best low and slow food on a Kamado style grill using double indirect. So absolutely check that out after today's video if you're interested in learning more. But that is the setup that you see here with the plate setter upside down on top of my heat deflector stones. After this, I'm just gonna let the grill continue to come up to temperature. I'm targeting between 280 and 300 degrees Fahrenheit for a hotter and faster cook, as this is not only going to make sure that we get everything done in the time that I want, it's going to help me burn more supplemental smoking wood that I'll show you on a little bit later in the video. So now that we've got our pork belly on and smoking, let me move into the next part of the preparation that you can do for a same day pork belly banh mi, which includes our quick pickle solution for our carrots, as well as our red onions, as well as some amazing Bahn Mi sauce that we're gonna drizzle over this when it's time for our taste test. So we've got our pork belly now smoking along at just around 300 degrees Fahrenheit on our big green egg, which gives us time to get to work on our veggies and our quick brine, which is perfect if you're in a pickle. You have no idea how long I was waiting for that joke, but nonetheless, dad jokes aside, this is a 1 hour quick pickling brine that is perfect for things like carrots, radishes, and red onions, two of which we are going to do today. Let's come nice and close. I'll show you how to prep our 1 hour pickle. So first we're gonna julienne these carrots, which is the official French word for to turn into matchsticks. I have no idea, I just made that up. So I'll take you fast forward for this once I show you the basic steps, but what I'm gonna do is just sort of cut the uneven ends off of our carrot, including the stem, split the carrot into half, and then get to work at squaring up the edges. So we'll do some of our fine-tuned trimming at the end, but just run that along till we get to the end here, and we start to get some uneven pieces, and we can split these into about matchstick size carrots. I'm looking to cut to a length that when they're standing, they will fit inside our little pickling jar. It looks about perfect. I'll take you fast forward. Okay, we've got our carrots all julienned or matchstickified, depending on your level of French. So now it's time to just chop up our red onion. We won't need a whole red onion for a mini mason jar this size, so I'm gonna go for about half of a red onion and then just cut that sort of from top to bottom so we get thin little circles, and we'll place that into our pickling jar and we'll be ready to make up our pickling solution. I'll get you right back to today's video, but first, thanks to Bighorn for sponsoring today's video. I'm fortunate to have the opportunity to use a number of grills, but a proper salamander grill, let alone a portable one, is one that I've never had in my arsenal until today. What exactly is a salamander grill, you may be asking? Well, the too long didn't read version is what the world's best steakhouses are using, as they want that signature top-down caramelization effect that you just can't get with other tools like cast iron. And I know from doing comparison videos that many people following along, whether it be with a pellet grill, gas grill, and or even some offset smokers, the one thing that they often fall short on is their ability to turn out a steakhouse sear. That's why I was so excited when Bighorn reached out and offered to send this unit along for me to test, as I think it will fill a gap for so many people. Not only can it reach 1500 degrees Fahrenheit with its infrared broiling effect, it does all this in 3 to 5 minutes. Plus, the versatile racking system can do a lot more than sear steaks. You could cook a pizza with the included pizza stone, grill some veggies, and if you're concerned about cleanup, everything is stainless steel and dishwasher safe. You can pull that out, throw it in the dishwasher, and it is ready to go for your next cook. There's a lot more to fit than what I can pack in about a minute and a half. Thanks again to Bighorn for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to check out all the details in the link and the description down below. Now, back to the action. Okay, for our brine, we're gonna start with 3/4 cup of water, 3/4 cup of rice vinegar, and we're going to do the exact same thing with white vinegar. You could use white wine vinegar. It's just gonna be a little bit sweeter and have a little bit less punch. So white vinegar is a better option if you have that available, but you can always substitute. Start to get some low heat going here. Next, we're gonna do a tablespoon of Diamond Crystal kosher salt, 5 tablespoons of sugar, and a teaspoon of fish sauce. We'll stir till all the sugar and salt is fully incorporated. We're gonna bring that to a rolling boil, and then we'll be ready to pour over our 2 veggies that we wanna pickle in about an hour. Okay, that's on a gentle rolling boil, so we're all set. Turn that off. Transfer this into something that I can pour more easily from. And now all we're gonna do is fill these to the top and leave them exactly as what you'll see here for about an hour to an hour and a half, and then they are ready to go in the refrigerator, and you can use them anytime from today up to about a month from now. But we're gonna be using these in a couple hours time when this pork belly banh mi is done. Just let them sit just like this for an hour, hour and a half. So we are now right about the 2-hour mark. So our veggies have been sitting out cooling off for 90 minutes now, since this is the first thing that we did after getting our pork belly on our Big Grenade. So this is gonna go in the refrigerator as soon as I'm done giving you a quick update. The next thing at about the 2-hour mark we wanna start paying attention to is our smoking wood. So we will have used up all of the 4 wood chunks that I placed at the bottom of my charcoal basket, plus the one that I could get there on top while everything was coming up to temperature. So I wanna get some supplemental smoke. And so the best way to do this is to get your hatchet out and break one of these pieces into 2 or 3 smaller pieces, as this will allow me to slide them in. Not only will they fit in the bottom ash drawer, but they are going to combust and burn nice and clean. This is a great way to continue getting supplemental smoke all day long. If we were doing an all-day cook like a brisket, it'd be no problem to burn a bigger piece. But for something like ribs and pork belly, we're gonna be about a 4-hour cook. Smaller pieces, about the size of your thumb, is exactly what we wanna get these down to make sure that they combust and burn. And about every 30 minutes or so from here on out, I'll be able to add 1 or 2 more of these and supplement the smoke on our pork belly. But speaking of our pork belly, the next step is actually to make our Bahn Mi Sauce. I've tried a whole bunch. Let me know if you've got a favorite recipe down in the description. But Recipe 10 Eats is one that we've had some great success adapting into barbecue recipes. But this one doesn't need any modifications. It's perfect, I think, as it is. So full credit to Recipe 10 Eats for her adaptation of an amazing Bahn Mi Sauce. Let me bring you nice and close, show you how we're gonna make it. Okay, this is full fat coconut milk. I put it in some warm water. It separates when it's cold, but the label came off, but that's what that is. So we've got some full fat coconut milk. So we need 3 tablespoons of coconut milk. I'm gonna make a double batch of the recipe, so go for 6. 4 tablespoons of hoisin sauce, but since I'm doubling again, that'll be 8 for me. And a ½ teaspoon of dark soy. But I'll double that once again for a full teaspoon. Get the rest of our hoisin sauce in here and we can get into some whiskey business. Perfect, and that is all set for later when our pork belly's done. Okay, we've got our pork belly off and resting. And so to help with the rest, I'm super excited. My local barbecue store has finally brought in Drippies, which is a product I discovered on the competition circuit, places like Memphis in May, tailgating, and a whole bunch of other things. And since we do some barbecue competitions, tailgating, or even for getting food over to friends, family, and transporting it, I picked up, at my own cost, a prep tub as well as a resting blanket. And that's exactly what I'm going to use today as I'm starting to gear up. It's a little bit early still to be thinking about tailgating season, but it is just around the corner, and super excited that I was able to go locally and buy this from my local barbecue store. And that is my game plan for today. And you've seen that as throughout the whole video in terms of prep as well as transport and keeping things nice and warm. So we are right at 4 o'clock on the dot. So from 4 hours from we started our fire or got started to prep our big green egg to now we are resting. And so all we have to do now is wait for friends to come over. We'll be ready to dive in for our taste test. So for me, I might need to wait an hour up to a maximum of 2 hours. For you, the wait will go by just like this. Okay, it is now 6 o'clock on the dot. Our friends have arrived. Our pork belly has been in the rest for just over 2 hours and 20 minutes. I was curious. I grabbed my Chef's Temp X10 and did a quick probe check to make sure that we are well over food safe temp. That's exactly what I was hoping to see, and we were just shy of 160 degrees Fahrenheit. The danger zone is below 140, so we are good to go. So test number 1 gets a flying pass and 2 thumbs up on the transportation, or the idea that I plan to use this later in the summer and the fall for competitions, events, and things like that. But enough about the future. Today is all about our pork belly banh mi. Let's get nice and close, slice it up. I've got everything laid out that we can construct our sandwiches, and I've thrown our buns in using some of the residual heat, opened the vent back up, and temperature started to rise. So I'm now sitting just about 370 degrees Fahrenheit to get a little bit of crust on our soft bread buns. Time to pull those out, cut them open, and build our sandwiches. Start getting a couple slices of our pork belly. It's all ready to go. This is looking too good not to share. So juicy, great smoke ring. This is gonna be good. What you can see here, by the way, before I get too far along, is by finishing 190, 195, is that we still have a little bit of texture in our slices, that they're not completely fall apart. If I give that a little bit of pull, that is plenty. But if we were to cook this all the way to absolute probe tender, around 203 on average, this would be overdone. So that is why we stopped a little bit short of perfection, as after about 2 hours of rest, I think we've arrived. Buns ready, which are now nice and crunchy on the outside, but still soft, warm on the inside. A couple shoots of our shallot, pork belly, a few of our carrots, pickled onions, cucumber, and cilantro. It's looking good. In my excitement, I nearly forgot our Bahn Mi sauce, but I added that just in the nick of time, drizzled a little bit over before our taste test. Let's dive in, see how we did. Guys, that was a fantastic bite. I don't know what to tell you about first. We've got the texture, the crunch of the outside of the bun, soft warm bread inside is amazing. Then I get our pickled carrots, that's the next thing, and I taste our onions and pickle. So a little punch of that vinegar, and it just melts away in the lush, rich, gentle smoke. It's not an overpowering smoke in 4 hours. This smoke is perfect. I'm going in for another bite. Cheers again. Wow, I'm glad I did, because this time I got even more of our Bahn Mi sauce. This just comes together so well. So like we opened this video, if you are not a fan of pork belly, I think you will be after today. This is a fast, easy, and flavorful cook that is sure to impress your family and friends. I hope you give it a try. If you do, let me know, or down in the comments, or tag me on Instagram, and or feel free to join our next Members Live, where I go live once a month, and you can ask me questions in the virtual flesh versus these pre-recorded videos. That's it for today though. I'm James from SoCadet BBQ signing off. Remember, don't be afraid to fire it up. Seriously.